Catherine, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here and you love Broadway, go ahead and hit subscribe to join the Theater Thursday fam. We'd love to have you. We're basically a big Broadway cult. Honestly, it's kind of real. So today's cult meeting, YouTube video, is going to be all about Mean Girls, the Broadway musical. I just got back from New York last week, and I got to see Mean Girls. Be sure to stick around till the end of the video because, surprise, we're doing a giveaway! Also, a quick spoiler warning, I'm not going to, intentionally spoil anything, but because we are discussing, story elements and design elements, some surprises might be talked about in this review. But without any further ado, let's talk about Mean Girls, the Broadway musical. Mean Girls, the musical, tells the story of teenager Katie Heron, who is transplanted from the wilds of Africa to the equally wild suburbia. There she faces brand new dangers like high school and shopping malls and cute boys. Scary stuff, I know. When the most popular girls in school, the Plastics, invite Katie to join their ranks, her real friends see it as an opportunity for Katie to go undercover and to infiltrate the cool kids. If this story sounds familiar, that's because it's based on the 2004 audience fave movie of the same name. That movie was written by Tina Fey, aka the first female head writer of SNL, aka huge undercover theater kid. And she wrote Mean Girls the musical. She adapted her own work for the stage, which is pretty cool. You don't get that a lot. The music is by Jeff Richmond, aka music for Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt and 30 Rock, aka Tina Fey's husband. Couple goals! Plus you've got lyrics by Nell Benjamin, who also did the lyrics for Legally Blonde the musical. Overall, the show is super high energy and super funny. This show is perfect for hardcore theater kids, your cousin from out of town who keeps calling this a play, and everyone in between. Personally, I'd recommend this show for audience members age 12 and up. I'd give this show somewhere between a PG and a PG-13. I go a little more in-depth discussing the music in my soundtrack reaction video, which if you haven't seen that, I'll link that down below. But basically, the score is a ton of fun and it's really diverse, especially for this style of show. We've had a bunch of shows come out in this vein recently and a bunch more that are in the works, and they all have kind of a similar sound and similar pacing. This show has a ton of different sounds. You've got contemporary musical theater, you've got musical theater pop rock, folk rock, kind of like a Disney Alan Menken-y sound, classic Broadway, and I think the book of the show is even stronger. Tina Fey managed to keep that same iconic feeling from the movie while inserting a ton of brand new quotable lines. I do have some nitpicky gripes about the book, but I'll talk about those in a sec. Let's talk about the actors. I gotta say right off the bat, special shout out to Kate Rockwell as Karen. Sexy is an absolute showstopper. She's the hidden gem of this show and she's brilliant. Ashley Park worked so hard. You can just tell when someone has put in the work and is continually just listening and not phoning it in. Ashley Park is that MVP. Of course, she's got a beautiful voice and she's funny and amazing in her own right, but you can tell that she is working. She created Gretchen Wieners into a full person. Erika Henningsen is adorable as Katie Heron, and she's so likable that you kind of understand why Katie does what she does. In the movie, when she starts to kind of feel the allure of the cool crowd, it just kind of feels like, that kind of sucks that you're abandoning your friends, but it's so much more real when Erika does it. Carrie Butler is perfection as Mrs. Norbury, Mrs. George, and Mrs. Heron. Her voice is beautiful as ever. She is funny as ever. I will be shocked if she doesn't win some sort of award for her work in this show. Taylor Louderman as Regina George is brilliant. And again, I don't want to give away too much because you should just go see the show. Let me just say, I enjoyed the show overall so much. Go see it. But she created something brand new out of something I thought we all knew, and we all walked in expecting to see Regina George, and we still had some of that in there, but it was so different. Spoiler alert, Someone Gets Hurt is completely a show. We talked about this a little bit in my soundtrack reaction video. Someone Gets Hurt is maybe my favorite song on the whole album. I think it's so much more interesting to have this inside look at Regina so that we're not just looking at a villain for 2 hours. We kind of understand who she is and why she does what she does. We're almost kind of sympathetic toward her. It's not actually heartfelt. She is just manipulating everyone around her. Barrett Wilbert Weed is just as perfect as you'd imagine. Her Janice was phenomenal. I just loved everything she did with the role. She was so natural and honest. It just felt like she was Janice. I kind of see why she didn't get nominated for the Tony. And it's by no means her talent. Her role in the show is way smaller than what you think it is based off of the CD. And I think that's why she didn't get nominated, because everyone in this cast is so phenomenal and so talented, you just don't see her as often. I think it was just a matter of not having enough stage time. I also wanted to point out a couple of my favorite technical elements, specifically the staging and the costume design. For instance, the staging in Someone Gets Hurt, she is literally floating. She maybe touches the ground for like 2 seconds. She's just being carried around by different guys. That she's just so much better than everyone. She can't even be bothered with walking. Some really brilliant choices there. Also, in case you were wondering, this footage is from Stars in the Alley because, surprise, I vlogged while I was in New York. If you guys want to check those out, be sure to subscribe to my second channel, Party at Cats. Travel vlogs from this New York trip are coming soon. A lot of the times when you try to costume a show of just like normal people, the costumes look weird. Like, it doesn't look like anything someone would wear. This show is costumed exceptionally well. Every person looks like a real person. One thing that I think surprised a lot of people, myself included, were how many iconic lines didn't make the cut. And I totally understand when you're adapting something from screen to stage, you need to get rid of some of those iconic lines because you don't want the entire audience to already know all of the punchlines. But Mean Girls is debatably one of the most quotable movies of our generation, and they left out some lines like, "Don't have sex because you will get pregnant and die." Jingle Bell Rock and the Christmas performance is removed. You still have the beginning of the scene and then it just ends. Like, you would think that that part of the movie would transfer over really well into the musical. Also, the act break is very interesting. I thought that the act break would be like right after Halloween of like, okay, we're gonna go after the plastics, and then it would pick up right at Christmas. Actually, Act 1 ends when Regina George gains weight and wears track pants not on Friday. Also, something I wanted to report back to you guys on, there wasn't an earlier mention of stars prior to More is Better, which is really interesting because the stars seem kind of like a central metaphor to who Katie is, and it's how they kind of wrap up the show. Regardless, it still works without it, but I just wanted to let you guys know. And now what you've all been waiting for, the giveaway! Let's talk about how to win this autographed playbill from Mean Girls the Musical. This giveaway is international, so yay for my worldwide Theater Thursday fan members! It's super easy to enter the giveaway. All you need to do is comment down below. You can comment absolutely anything. Just end that comment with giveaway in parentheses. Every comment is an extra entry, so go ahead and spam those comments. I'll have all the instructions, deadlines, and important info in the description box down below. I hope you guys are having a great day. I love you so, so much. Break a leg, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!